Hello friends and family. So we are back again with another video. So as you can see from the title, we want to talk about the things that you need before you start applying to schools in the United States of America. So if you are ready, let's get into the video. Alright, so before you even think of applying to schools in the United States of America, the number one thing that you need is time. Yes, you need a lot of time because I tell my friends and colleagues that this is a whole journey, okay, which you cannot start and finish within 2 3 days. It does not work that way, okay. So you have to give yourself at least a year, okay. So I normally use myself as an example. When I started the process, I was in my master's program, second year, first semester, and I completed the whole process the following year. So I used more than a year for, this whole application thing. So I normally tell my friends that if you know you don't have time, then I don't think you should even start the process in the first place. So the number one thing that you need is time. You should have a lot of time for this whole journey. Okay. Now, aside time, you should also make sure you work on your GPA, especially for those of us who are still in school. Try as much as possible to work on your GPA. Okay. Yes. Make sure you have as high GPA as possible. Yes. Normally, schools in US will tell you that your GPA should not be less than 3.0. Okay, yeah. So make sure. I'm talking to those who are still in school, who have the chance to change their GPA. Okay, make sure you score a very high GPA. Okay. Now, having said that, there is not a guarantee, but at least it will boost your chances. It will increase your chances of getting admission. Okay, yeah. Now, for those of us who are out of school, who are having GPA of less than 3.0, there's no need to worry so much. Okay, because normally admission team will tell you that they look at applications in totality. So aside the GPA, there are other areas that you can improve upon, okay, to cover up for your low GPA. Okay, yeah. So that's that as far as the GPA is concerned. So one, you should have time. Two, for those of us in school, try as much as possible to score as high GPA as possible. Okay, and those of us who are not in school at the moment, who are out of school and with GPA less than 3.0, there are other areas that you can improve upon, okay, to augment your low GPA, so you don't need to worry so much. Okay, so aside time in GPA, for those of us coming for masters and PhD, there is this exam called GRE, that's graduate record exam. Okay, previously it was almost compulsory. I'm saying almost because most schools require graduate students to write the GRE. Okay, but since this COVID stuff came, most schools have waived the GRE. Okay, so before you apply, you have to check the requirements of the school, whether they still require you to write the GRE or it has been waived. Are you okay? Yeah. So in these times it is not absolute, so you just have to check the school whether you are required to still write the GRE or not. Okay, so it depends on the school. And also TOEFL, an English proficiency exam for those who are not coming from Anglophone countries. You'll be required to take a TOEFL, that's an English proficiency test. Okay, yeah. Again, this is not absolute in a sense that some schools will just tell you to apply regardless of you having a TOEFL or not. So again, this is also not absolute. Okay, yeah. Then the fourth one is the SOP. That's a statement of purpose, which other schools call as letter of intent. Yes, they call it letter of intent or statement of purpose, which you are supposed to write at least a page, and at most 1.5 pages of what your intentions are. Okay, yeah. In another video, I'm going to talk more about the SOP, what you should include in an SOP and what you shouldn't include in an SOP. So that will be in a different video. All right, then the next thing that you need is letter of recommendation. Okay, so you have to contact your lecturers or your professors and tell them, oh, maybe this is what you are doing. You are applying to schools in US and you want them to be your recommenders. So you want to plead with them if they can help you with recommendation letters. Okay, but make sure these professors or these lecturers are willing to write letters of recommendations for you. Okay, yeah, make sure they are willing to do it, because especially for those of us who are out of school and with low GPA, okay, these are some of the things that they look at. I mean, the admission team, these are some of the things that they look at to augment your low GPA. So make sure the professor that you are contacting is ready and willing to write a very good recommendation letter for you. Okay, so you need for those going for their masters, most schools require you to submit names of 2 recommenders, and for those going for their PhD, I think you need 3 recommenders. Yes, 3. So yes, you have to make sure you have sorted these things out before you start your application. Now the next thing that you have to draft is your resume or your CV. Okay, resume or CV. So you have to draft your resume, because most schools will ask you to, put in your resume, especially for those who are who want to apply for assistantship, teaching assistantship. Okay, because the school will need to know, what you have done, your experiences and all that. Okay, so you have to draft a concise resume. Then finally, you should have, of course, you are traveling from your country to another country, so you should have a passport. Okay, so make sure your passports will not expire within 6 months of your admission. Okay, yeah. And for those of you who don't have passports, make sure you get yourself a passport before you start the whole process, or in the course of going through the process, you can try and get yourself a passport, because eventually when you get admission, you will travel and you need a passport, right? Yes. So you have to get a passport before you start, or before you even start the whole process. Yeah, so these are the things that you need, and let me go through them again. So you need time, you need your GPA should be 3.0 or above, but like I said, if your GPA is not 3.0, don't worry so much, because other areas will compensate for that. You also need a GRE, you need an SOP, letter of recommendations, resume, and finally you need a passport. All right, so now you have all these items checked. Now, how do you select the schools? There are a lot of schools in the US. A lot of schools, hundreds of schools. Now that you have checked all these items, how do you select the schools? Of course, you cannot apply to all the schools in US. Okay, now what goes into the selection? That's what we'll be talking about in our next video. Before that, I'll urge you to subscribe to my channel, and you can comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions, if you have any comments, any advice, what you think we should discuss. You can leave a comment in the comment section. But most importantly, I would like you to subscribe to this channel so that you can get notification anytime I drop a video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.